worried for Mooner.
Yeah, I mean, he has to draw. I mean, this is a really draw-heavy deck, actually. It runs Doom and Solarium, so it does have the potential just to cycle through that deck. And hopefully he's got... You just have to get the right part, the right piece of removals on Kev while cycling. And with even Shaman, I think he's got a better chance of doing that. I think he's going to struggle when he comes up against his Big Priest. So I think if he gets this win in now, I favour Mooner's chances.
Yeah, I mean, if Mooner can win with this Warlock deck, it's very likely he can get a win with the Paladin in 3 separate games.
Yeah.
But this one I don't think will be so easy. The Shaman has an insane amount of burn in the Wild format with Crackle, with the 2 copies of Jade Lightning. You have...
Yeah, Jade
playing with Faceless on turn 4.
This Crackle's it's such a polarizing card because it's potentially 3 to 6. It's really difficult to play around for your opponent. So I mean, with Mooner, he has to be really careful with his health total because his heals are mixtures and mixtures and a few like sacrificial packs and stuff like that. So no Reno, but there's stuff like Zilax as well, which helps out. So. You just have to be a little bit careful with his health total here, and we do see a coin on the Golem, which is standard play, into hero power, and you can see Thing from Below already down to 4. Now, like I say, with the nerf to Flametongue Totem, normally you'd get that out fairly quickly. So it'd be interesting to see over the tournament because there's quite a lot of even shamans being played, like how consistent it is to get that out between like turn 4 and 5, I'd say. Yeah,
I think from Below, prior to the Flametongue nerf, you'd want to see it out for 2 mana pretty much every time. And obviously it's still a great card if you're playing it for 3 or 4 mana. It's still overstated Chillwind Yeti with Taunt. But you're wanting to play this card on the same turn that you're playing another really powerful card.
Especially if you're against another mid-range deck or an aggro deck, you really want to get that out quickly. If you're playing against like a controlling type of deck, you don't really care about the reduction too much. You can just save up a nice sizable hand and then just like flood the board.
But I do want to ask, so Trust had the option of coining the Mercspark Eel on turn 1 and then going into the Totem Golem on turn 2, which would have overloaded him to 2 mana on 3, but there's not a terrible amount that you want to play on 3 mana anyway. Do you like the order that he went in?
Yeah, because he's got Thing from Below in hand and you just guarantee the hero power next turn. I don't really mind it. And the Eel, you always use that Battle Cry to kind of like pick off a minion later on in the game. Oh, not maybe later on in the game, kind of mid-range in the game.
So just prioritize hero powering whenever you possibly can.
Definitely, yeah. That's just, it's such a... This deck has so much synergy in it with like you see there, the Totem Carver. It's just, there's so much like totem synergy. You just want to be tapping it at any point in the game, really. But yeah, and also getting a 3/4 on board just helps them trade up into anything small being played. I mean, you can actually see Cafoon in hand already.
And Mooner did just go ahead. He played Galvanizer on the previous turn without Mecha'thun in hand. And for a lot of standard viewers, that's a death sentence with this deck.
Yeah.
But in Wild, you have access to the card Emperor Thaurissan. So with that, Mooner only needs... Actually, he doesn't even need a Galvanizer if the Blood Bloom is in hand as well. He just needs a tick on the Mecha'thun and the Blood Bloom. So the Galvanizers are unnecessary with Emperor Thaurissan in the deck as well. Although sometimes maybe, you get the Thaurissan before you have the combo pieces and then you still do need the Galvanizers. But this deck is a lot more flexible in Wild than it is in Standard. And that's honestly the way that a lot of decks are created in the Wild format. They're created to be more flexible because you have more options.
And I think that's because the reason that people tend to run Galvanizer and Emperor is just because of rats. If they do run into any kind of like dirty rat play, they've got like an extra out to potentially still pull off the combo. But usually you see 2 copies of Galvanizer and Emperor. But I believe there's only 1 Galvanizer in this deck. So I don't think...
you're right. There is only a single copy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I don't think you can actually... Well, you can't pull off the full combo with just the 1... Galvanizer.
With just the 1 Galvanizer, no. So he does need the Emperor Thaurissan to activate in this list.
So he just needs the Blood Bloom and the actual Mecha'thun, essentially,
But Truss, with a copy of Wind Fury in the deck, which is kind of a win more card, but has the ability to push a ton of damage now in the absence of Flame Tongue Totem. It's just going to continue to put on that pressure. And Mooner needs to draw through his entire deck. He needs to get that Emperor Thaurissan to tick onto Mecha'thun and Bloodbloom, and he needs to survive up until that point and have more than 4 health when he actually wants to execute the Mecha'thun Bloodbloom Cataclysm combo. I'm not really seeing that happening. This deck just does not fare well at all against aggro.
No, and with he has to actually Bloodbloom the Spellstar, yeah. Which is they do run 2 Bloodblooms, I believe. Let me just double check the list. Yeah, so he's still okay, but it's just so much pressure being applied now, and the lack of healing. He hasn't drawn his Void Callers to actually pact. His hand is really heavy right now. In fact, the only thing he can actually do next turn currently is Godfrey. So, and none of the hand interacts with Godfrey unless he Hera powers. But still, it would leave a thing from below at 1 health. So yeah, this could be, it's all reliant on this top deck.
Yeah, other differences from this list of Mecha'thun Warlock versus Standard. Obviously, Skull of the Minari is a little bit too slow at times. Sometimes it can be countered too heavily. So this version is running Void Caller, which is the 4-mana 3/4 demon, Death Rattle, summon a demon from your hand. And that's exactly what Mooner needed to draw.
He had to tap there. He had to tap.
Now,
and that is, unfortunately, there is Devolve.
There is Devolve. That's what I was getting at. But Mooner's playing around it really well by going for the Sack Pact onto the Void Lord here. Just for the extra health, because if there is a single copy of Devolve, yeah, there are some 8-drops with Taunt, but not as many as there are 8-drops without Taunt.
Yeah, I agree with that play, because it does put him out of range of lethal with just what's on board, and you have to play around the Devolve. You can't just leave a single statted minion up there like that. So I do like that. I mean, he's just hanging on by the skin of his teeth at the minute. It's so difficult to pilot this deck when you've had such a bad draw, like 2 10s, a 7-drop, and an 8-drop. He's kind of in a difficult position, but luckily now he does have a follow-up Twisted Nether, or even can he pull off the
double
Godfrey?
Target dummy? That's going to soak up 7 damage from Truss.
That's actually huge.
That's massive. There are quite a few 0-cost minions in Wild. Snowflipper. Yeah, Snowflipper Penguin, Wisp, Target Dummy.
And the cute little male.
Oh yeah, Murloc Tiny Fin.
Mm-hmm. I think that's it. Is that?
Yeah, maybe it is just the 4 of them. But another reason Mooner wanted to Sacrificial Pact the Void Lord is because now it's guaranteed in the res pool for Blood Reaver Gul'dan.
Yeah.
So if he can get to turn 10, he can start using Siphon Life, and maybe it's not even unrealistic to just grind out the Shaman.
I think that tap into the Void Caller was its only out. That was it. And yeah, brilliant read to actually Sacrificial Pact his Void Lord as well. Now it's a little bit of a struggle. Like, these Jades aren't really big enough to get any work done, and I believe the Godfrey will leave a free 1-up from this play. Mm-hmm. He's also got Doom there as well, which is actually a huge pickup.
Yeah, I mean, Mooner is managing to work his way back into this. And again, Trust still has 2 copies of Jade Lightning, 2 copies of Crackle in the deck. There's a ton of burn left. There's still the Flame Wreath Faceless. There's a Lich King at the top end. There's a bunch of big stuff that Trust can draw to get the job done. But the Even Shaman does at some point get to this state of the game.
Stabilization state, yeah.
Yeah, where they're having to top deck for their resources.
Yeah, that was so close for Mooner just to pull that off. And yeah, you got to go face here. There's no trading up. It's just that he's kind of playing. He's got a choice here of playing Doom or the actual Death Knight, and that could be game over if he goes for Death Knight.
Yeah, Gul'dan very likely gets punished by second Devolve, but he's seen one Devolve already. Yep. What are the odds that Truss has the second one? I think that Mooner has to go for this play. This is the winning line. Doom is, maybe still gets him there. But now with Devolve and Crackle, this is probably going to be game. He's got a 3-drop, a 6-drop, and an 8-drop, and this needs to be Taunt City. Wilfred Fizzlebang.
Oh no, it's Wicker Flame.
Burn Bristle. No, that's right. It's not Wilfred Fizzlebang.
This is so unlucky.
Jeez. There's a bunch of weird named stuff in Wild.
You have to Do you have to crackle that? He's got a rag as well. Oh my god. I think you have to crackle that.
I think
to
this
stop the heal. Oh,
the Master Jouster can trade over the Fire Elemental, and now Mooner's going to be healing for 3 every turn.
Oh,
that was Truss's one chance.
That was so unfortunate. But Rag might just actually take this game out now.
Wicker Flame Burn Bristle. Why, I never.
That was a real unfortunate evolve. Yeah, devolve, sorry. I was expecting maybe like an 8-drop taunt. I didn't even think about the 3-drop potential with that.
There's not a lot of 3-drops with taunt, but
it's the lifesteal.
I mean, that was just about the perfect one. I think that Truss has been pushed out of this game, and this is a matchup that is so unfavorable for Mooner.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful tap into that one point in the game where he got the Void Lord. Void Caller into Void Lord into another sack pack. That was brilliant. That was his only out because his hand was so clunky, but yeah, Truss has been really, really, really unlucky with that devolve. I can't see a way back from this.
Even Shaman is a deck that was so popular on ladder in the month that these players were playing to qualify for the Swiss rounds to get to this tournament. They had to finish top 100 on ladder in their respective region, play through the open qualifiers, and finish top 2 in their region to then qualify for these finals. And Even Shaman was everywhere. I'm sure a lot of these players played Even